television, and it might be sooner than we think. But that's what's really going on with Wade Barrett. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they throw in the visa situation for a storyline, or maybe they say, hey, we're going to suspend Wade Barrett for the actions of you guys, and we are going to take his title shot away, and maybe it'll be a lesson to the Nexus. I don't know. But, speaking of the Nexus, I see another member of that group defecting away from them. I know that's hard to believe, but I see another member of that group defecting. Now, who is that member? Well, first of all, we saw Daniel Bryan. He got fired because, WWE's hands were tied by some kind of outside source. A lot of people are pointing towards Linda McMahon's political campaign group. Others are pointing towards Mattel. But storyline-wise, the Nexus got rid of Daniel Bryan because he showed remorse. Well, I think we see another guy defecting from the Nexus as well. Now who could that be? You might ask. Who could that be? Who is the one guy that's going to defect from the Nexus? Or probably be thrown out? Well, believe it or not, you may agree, and you may agree with this or not, I believe, from what I saw during the attack on the Legends and his reluctancy to finish off Ricky Steamboat, I see Justin Gabriel being the next one to defect. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I have seen something in Justin Gabriel storyline-wise that tells me, storyline-wise, he's going to be the next one to defect out of Nexus, or be thrown out of Nexus. I could just see it. Because he's not the kind of guy, apparently, that wants to do this, and the only reason he's with them is because, like Wade Barrett mentioned a week or two ago, he's there out of loyalty. He's a part of this group because of loyalty to them, because of a bond they made. But I've got a feeling he might be the next one thrown out or defecting out, because I've seen it a lot lately, and I could be wrong, but I definitely see him being the next one out because, I don't think storyline-wise Justin Gabriel's the kind of guy that likes to do this. He only does this because of loyalty. But I think that's who I believe is next, because, again, if you watch the replay, and you can see the replay on YouTube maybe, I'm not sure, or you can catch the replay by downloading it, or you can catch it on AM Raw or something like that, or this Sunday doing a replay on one of the Spanish channels. But to me, Justin Gabriel, if you watch that attack real closely, you hear Heath Slater yelling to him, "Do it! Do it!" And you almost see that hesitation from Justin, that reluctancy, but he still does it. But I think he does it out of loyalty and this bond, which tells me storyline-wise, he's the next one to defect. He's the next one to be thrown out. Then we're going to be stuck with the Nexus of 6 members, or maybe 7 if Wade Barrett comes back. But I believe Justin Gabriel is the next one that's going to be out of Nexus. Now, I could be wrong. And you might say, Brian, you are wrong. You might agree with me. But again, if you look at that attack from this past Monday Night on Raw, you may agree with what I'm saying. Because it's obvious. It's obvious to me that's exactly what's going to probably happen. Justin Gabriel is going to be the next one out. Because he's more baby. Because you can definitely... let me explain this. You can definitely tell that Justin's the kind of guy that once he's out of Nexus, the WWE Universe is going to pick him up and snatch him up just like that, and they're going to cheer him into that building. They're going to blow the roofs off for that guy. Because he's the kind of person that will get that reaction as a babyface when he defects or gets thrown out of Nexus. That's who I see is next. Because again, you got to look at the reluctancy on him during that attack. Or towards the end of that attack. But again, Raw to me was okay. It wasn't the best Raw. And a lot of people may say this whole Nexus thing is being played to death. Same thing over and over again, with the exception now that they can do whatever they want without a WWE superstar stopping them. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But I truly believe, out of watching this Raw, despite how you feel about it, despite how you feel that it may have only had 50-something minutes worth of action, and 50 minutes worth of no wrestling action, or whatever you want to call it, and maybe half of that, and maybe 50 minutes, again, like I said, of it, despite how you may feel, to me, this Raw was more about, as a fan, as a mark, if you will, about seeing things that will be coming, and seeing things that will come, seeing things that are going to be happening real soon, and just seeing the hints thrown here and there. I mean, come on. The anonymous GM, who does not know that's not Michael Cole? I mean, if it's not Michael Cole and it's, say, Josh Matthews, then that would be a surprise. Because I know a lot of people don't want it to be Michael Cole because they would feel that's an epic failure. But it's hard. You cannot deny the fact that the way Michael Cole went up to that podium and the way the fans reacted to him, and well, of course, this was Philadelphia they were in, but still, the way they reacted to him, it's more the fact that Michael Cole is the anonymous GM. You know, WWE can hide it all they want. They can throw us curveballs all they want, but we know it's him. It's got to be him. I mean, again, you take a look at... they were in Philadelphia, of all places. I mean, you talk about a city that you could probably call one of the capitals of markouts when it comes to markout fans, when it comes to wrestling, and when it comes to the WWE. I mean, being in Philadelphia, that's basically like setting yourself up for a fall. Because those fans... I mean, you watch it on the ECW DVD, the Rise and Fall of ECW DVD, and, you know, Chris Jericho even said it. Chris Jericho said it. Those fans there, despite if they are WWE fans or not, those are the kind of fans to know everything about you, even if you're not in a major company. And that's why, to me, when they booed Michael Cole... Yeah, everybody doesn't like Michael Cole, that's true. But when they booed Michael Cole, the way they did it to me, and the way Michael acted when he was doing the announcing on the podium for the anonymous GM, I mean, if that doesn't tell you he is the anonymous GM, then what doesn't? And again, they were in Philadelphia, a city that you could consider, once again, and I hate to repeat myself, but a city that, once again, you could consider one of the mark-out capitals of the world when it comes to wrestling, then you're basically, again, as I mentioned, setting yourself up for a fall. You might as well just had Michael Cole come up to the podium and say, "Hey, everybody, guess what? I got a note from the GM. The surprise is, I'm the GM," or something like that. I mean, come on. It's too obvious. It's too obvious, especially when you do something like this in Philadelphia. Now, I'm not saying that you go to places like in New Jersey or in Dallas or Oakland or St. Louis or Miami and all that, and they won't react the same way. But come on, this city is basically considered, to me, I consider it one of the mark-out capitals of the world when it comes to wrestling, because these fans are very knowledgeable. So it's too obvious. I mean, this past Monday, it was too obvious, and if you agree with it, go ahead. If you don't, that's fine with me, but it was just too damn obvious. Too damn obvious. And, you know, and I'm not going to be surprised, again, if if the anonymous GM is revealed at Money in the Bank. I will not be surprised. I mean, if they do throw us a curveball and have someone like, say, Josh Matthews step up and say, "Hey, I'm the anonymous GM," that might be a surprise, but I don't think so. I don't really think so. I mean, that would be too obvious. Too obvious, if you ask me. Just too obvious. Maybe not, but still, it would be too obvious. And heck, it might be Matt Stryker. Who knows? But I don't think that's going to happen either. But again, to me, the anonymous GM is... I mean, again, it was just... Being in Philadelphia basically made it a dead giveaway, whether you agree with it or not. But overall, Raw was, it was alright. It wasn't the best. Wasn't the best Raw.